Since she was in kindergarten, Krysta Palmer has had plans of being an Olympian. And now some 20+ years later, she is there, but not in the sport she or anyone close to her would have thought. But if you talk to those same people, it's clear the Carson City kid was not going to let any setback keep her from reaching the games. Before anyone realized it, Krysta Palmer's Olympic dream had started at her childhood home in Carson City, or at least nearby.
The family next door had a trampoline. I remember my parents telling us that we are not allowed to jump on their trampoline because it's too dangerous. So of course when they weren't watching, we'd push it over next to the roof and jump off the roof onto the trampoline.
I wasn't really knowing about that until they came home and they said, your kids are on our trampoline. And I went, well, say what? And we thought, oh my, we need to do something with our daughter because she's gonna get hurt. So we ended up putting her in gymnastics.
Stand up straight. Up. Yeah, very good.
Krysta would eventually land in the hands of Mig O'Hara, a longtime successful Northern Nevada coach.
Oh! We immediately plucked her out of that class and put her onto the competitive team, and from there she just went.
She had that dream at the age of 5 when she started in gymnastics. I want to be in the Olympics. Constantly, we heard that.
But for most great athletes, careers don't go in a straight line, and Krysta was no exception. As a preteen, a badly injured knee forced a permanent move to the less demanding trampoline, where as a teenager, Krysta's high-flying talents took her across the world, before another major knee injury took it all away again.
She came back very distraught and felt defeated, and then somebody suggested about diving.
I will train until 2020 if that's what it takes. It would be a dream come true.
Less than 10 years and well more than 10 accolades later, Krysta's 5-ring dream
They've done it.
Has finally become reality in her third sport.
We thought we were going to see it in gymnastics, then the injuries came. Thought we were going to see it in the trampoline, the injuries came. So now it's diving and she's excelled.
The ability to flip and twist and understand how to move your body through space. All roads lead to Tokyo.
And the 29-year-old, the oldest diver in Stars and Stripes, plus the coach who gave her a chance, one with an incredible story herself in Nevada's Jian Liu, are making history by just showing up.
There's never been any diver that's qualified in 2 events. Then on Jen Lee's side, there's never been a woman who is qualified onto the U.S. Olympic staff.
All the things that held her back, all the roadblocks, she just kept climbing over, and there were people there helping her along. So yeah, am I proud of her? Like, unbelievably proud of her.
I'm just so proud. I really am. That's the feeling I have when I think about her, is just proud.
Proud, extremely proud, just over the moon proud. I don't even know how to put it into words. You're gonna make me cry.
Go, Krysta!
I'm just so thankful for everybody that's contributed to my journey. I could not have become a champion without all of you.
There she is at the games now, after injuries that would have sent off 99.9% of people, and they would have said, you know, I had a good run. But she said, you know what, I'm not done. I'm going to move different sports, and then I'm going to get myself to the games. And she is on the verge of competing. They start Saturday at 11 p.m. Pacific is when Krysta will compete in that 3-meter. I believe that is the synchronized event, and then the individual will come later. I might have that reversed, but she's at 2 events at the games. What more can you say?
Mike, phenomenal report there. Thanks for putting that together. That was fantastic. I love the backstory about the trampoline and how that started everything. Just so cool.
Yeah, if I take you behind the curtain, that could have been like a 30-minute documentary. I just so appreciate her mom, her brother. Her dad, Mitch, is actually a truck driver who was on the road. He's working pretty much until the last hour, and then they're going to take them to Florida, and they'll get to watch the games together as a kind of USA diving family in Florida at the facility out there. So yeah, just so much praise for them, and it's something that Krysta obviously earned, and we are so happy for her being from Carson City, of course. Sam Hammond had to grow up fast.
With what we had, I think I had the best childhood I can imagine, and honestly, going back, I wouldn't change a thing.
Some mothers, they want to pamper their kids all the time. I couldn't do that. I could not pamper him. I knew he was going to have to grow up without a father.
I never felt like something was quite missing, but I mean, there obviously was. I mean, my mom, she did a huge job at filling 2 roles, and mother and father.
And after over a decade of raising her son through some unstable times in Palm Springs, California, Mom made a big move.
Where is Yerington? What is Yerington? Is that like, why would you call it Yerington? That's such a weird name. Once we hit Hawthorne, I was like kind of freaking out. I was like, what the hell is going on? What is this? All right, this is foreign land. This is, we're about to drive off the face of the planet or something.
Little did Sam know, those less than 9 square miles would open up a world of opportunity through some lifelong friends and mentors, like his favorite Boys and Girls Club counselor turned Wolfpack peer.
Nick was probably my first like big brother type. I mean, he was in high school and he was playing football and stuff, and I was like dang, like this guy's cool.
Sam had like every excuse in the world to kind of be a punk, and he was one of my favorite kids at the club. We played air hockey every single day. He'll tell you he beat me, I beat him all the time. Sam was he was an awesome kid.
Oh, and Sam's victories would soon come on the baseball field, basketball court, and 3 times in the state championship on the football field. A flourishing life, all made possible by his mother's will to jump. A leap not for the weary.
I was worried about him at first, his adapting to me. I didn't think he was ever gonna like me as much as he has.
The amount of love that we shared through tough times is unbreakable for sure.
So was their bond. Not the typical mother-son, not at all.
You hear about moms calling kids and the kids don't call back, but it's me calling my mom. I'm like, hey, you never call me. Like, I called you twice today. Why aren't you calling me?
If we don't talk to each other for about 3 or 4 days, we're not the same people. It's like we feed off of each other.
A long-standing loving connection built through tough trials, now as strong as ever, with so much accomplished and so much still ahead.
I'm just overwhelmed with Sam and his abilities and who the man is now. He's like a powerhouse to me.
It's crazy just to see like her sacrifices paying off and me going to college and me being on my own now and stuff, and it could have been a much different route.
I'm glad that he's grown to know where he's come from and where he's gonna go. And I know he still needs me. Sometimes
I'll just miss my mom and I'll just want to give her a hug when I see her and stuff so much, and I think she understands that like that's my boy. Doing that for her really makes me feel all gushy inside and mushy and stuff, and I think that's okay to feel that type of love for your mom.
If you've driven by Greater Nevada Field on a game day, chances are you have seen John Tan, enjoying it from outside.
All right, here we go.
But he is not an ordinary spectator.
I'm hoping for some foul balls. He's called like 6 fouls, but nothing's come over. One hit the screen. Professional player pitches it, professional player hits it, and then all of a sudden it's yours, and you're, the next part of the chain there.
It's a hobby the Southern California native picked up after he snagged 2 balls at a near-empty minor league game in Omaha.
I started to realize like a lot of these parks, they leave the park, and in many cases there's nobody outside. So I decided to be that nobody. I was fouled, but it stayed in. Another one, yep. It gets your heart pumping a little bit.
But nothing like when one finally does go over.
There's one. This is what you come for. It's just a thrill, every time a ball clears the fence and you get it. I thought it would get old years ago, but it hasn't so far.
So far, as in the last 4 seasons in Reno, and a couple hundred balls later.
The Aces call me every year. It's like, hey, you should buy some season tickets. And I want to tell them, yeah, look, I have one. It's just outside on 2nd Street.
A unique seat Tan is happy to occupy, whether the fouls are coming or not.
I think of it like fishing, be out in nature, so to speak, and sometimes the fish bite, sometimes they don't, but no matter what, it's a good day. You spend some quality time out here.
And someday the balls will have a quality purpose.
Eventually, give them to a little league team or something, but I'm enjoying them for now.
This senior year is what I've been working for. I'm relying on this for college to get me to the next level and continue my education.
It is something thousands of high school student athletes are worried about, with COVID-19 impacting fall sports across the country.
You never realize how much you love it until it's gone from you.
Weston Smith is a sophomore football player at Damani Ranch who cannot help but feel less enthused about everything without the season going on.
Every school day last year, I'd be really excited to come because I'd have Friday nights to look forward to. You're competing on the field, that leads to competition in the classroom.
Nevada is one of under 20 states which moved fall sports to next year. But since then, some have reversed course, including Michigan and Delaware. At this week's Washoe County School Board meeting, a large group of local student athletes wanted the same for Northern Nevada, gathering for a peaceful protest at Sparks High School. Damani Ranch seniors Ethan Colpin and Justin Harley were there.
As a 17-year-old, having a voice be heard is pretty awesome to be around in a democratic process like this, and to go out and voice that opinion to the people of power that can do something about it is definitely something big.
I just wanted to get across that we should be able to play. We as Reno, Nevada, Northern Nevada should be able to play.
I'm here to ask the school board to consider bringing back fall sports and especially football.
Hey. Smith, the quarterback for the Mustangs, spoke directly to the board, but the outcome created more confusion.
The school board just shot us down. They said that it's up to the NIAA and there's honestly nothing they can do, which is the opposite of what we hear from the NIAA, where it's up to the school board.
People are just pointing fingers at each other saying this and that, and it's like, what's really going on?
While saying they're still grateful for the planned 6-week season in the spring, the trio also hates to see over 60% of the country playing now.
We have a bunch of other states in the U.S. that are changing and going with playing football and playing fall sports and helping their students. And it's not fair for Nevada not to be doing that to their students. We just hope somebody takes leadership and changes on this.
Whether said change comes or not remains to be seen, but enduring these historic times can only embolden these soon-to-be adults.
It's going to definitely teach you perseverance and how to get through tough times. This was not an ideal thing, kind of hit you out of nowhere, and life really just hits you out of nowhere. You never know what to expect.